Hi everyone, we're going to be talking about UCAS now. So for those of you who haven't started, don't worry, you've still got time. For those of you that have started filling in the application form, you might still find this helpful. So we're going to be talking you through how to create a UCAS account if you haven't already done so, and give you a bit of a breakdown of the application. So when it comes to filling in your UCAS form, we're going to guide you through and hopefully take some of the fear out of it for those of you who haven't done it already. So we're going to put in the chat a link to the UCAS form, so you can make a note of that or you can save it for later and then go on and start filling it in. So one of the things that you're going to have to do is register first, and then you're going to have to log in. We're going to talk you through the whole process of going through all of these sections. So there's quite a lot of sections in the form, but don't worry, we're going to guide you through that, and it's not as daunting as it might seem. Okay, so when it comes to registering, you need to go to ucas.com/apply, and you'll be asked to add some personal details. You'll be given a username, and it's really important to hang on to that. So make sure you take a photograph of it or you write it down, or both. Really important to keep it safe. It's a very long number with hyphens in between the numbers, and you'll need it every time you want to log into your form. If you lose it, it can cause real problems. So yeah, make sure you've got that somewhere safe. You'll be asked to create a password again. Make sure you keep a note of that and set your security questions and keep a note of all your answers. So you'll also be asked for the Nottingham College buzzword, and this year that is rainbows. So it's all lowercase and it's rainbows with an S on the end. So make sure that when it comes up with the Nottingham College address as the Adams building, that doesn't throw you, because that is the address that we use for UCAS. So just tick that box to say that that is the right place that you're studying at the moment. Okay, so there's that rainbow, just to remind you again that the buzzword is rainbows. So in the personal details and additional information section, you're going to be asked for a few things. So you'll be asked to add your funding and sponsorship options. So unless you've got, a rich benefactor, or you've got lots of money in the bank and you're going to be paying for the course and all your maintenance yourself, then you will be somebody who will be applying to the student loan company for a student loan. So where there's a drop down box for you to put in a code, you need to select 02. That is the option that you will need to select on there. And you'll also need to state whether or not you've got any special needs or disabilities and any criminal convictions. Really important to declare those if you do have any. It's not going to go against you when it comes to applying to uni, so don't worry about that. Add an appropriate email address and verify your email, and then you'll be able to continue with the form. You can also give a parent or guardian or somebody else nominated access. So that means that they will be able to speak to UCAS on your behalf if needed. You don't have to tick that box, but if you want to, that's there. In the additional information section, you'll be asked to add your ethnic origin, any summer schools or taster sessions that you've been to, and also you'll be asked for your parental education and occupational background. So yeah, you have to put that information about your parents as well. So UCAS don't arrange student finance themselves, but it's a really good idea to give them permission to share your basic details with the student finance company. It does quicken the process of getting a loan, so it's worth doing that. You don't have to, but you have that option. In the choices section, you are going to need to put your 5 choices of course and university in no particular order, because when you put them in, they're automatically going to be put into alphabetical order for you. So it is going to cost you £26 for the privilege of putting in your UCAS application, and you can pay that either by credit card or debit card. So I'm sorry, it is going to cost you a little bit of money. So in the education section, you need to list all of your qualifications since primary school, and that includes any qualifications that you're doing currently, but you list those as pending rather than putting a grade down for them. You'll also be asked what the highest level qualification is that you have, and in the drop down menu for that, you need to select below honours degree level qualification. You can use the UCAS points calculator on the UCAS website to help you work out exactly how much each of your qualifications gives you in terms of UCAS points, and also you can use your predicted grade for your current qualifications that you're studying for to work out what you're going to get if all goes well and you get those predicted grades. So that will help you choose the right courses that you're likely to qualify for in terms of entry requirements. So that's really, really important. Make sure you include any paid employment in the employed section. Anything voluntary that you've done goes into the personal statement, but in this section you want to list anything paid, and that is going to include details about your employer, what the job was, what your role was, and any start and finish dates. If you can't remember those precisely, don't worry, just try and remember as best you can and put those dates down. I'm not going to go into lots of detail about personal statements because we've got a specific session on personal statements later. That's with Olivia, who does a fantastic job of explaining some great tips that are going to be really super useful to you. So do stick with us for that. But what I will say is that the personal statement section is probably the most important section of the UCAS form. It's your opportunity to sell yourself to the university, and basically they're going to use that plus your grades and predicted grades to make a decision about whether or not they're going to offer you a place on their course. So you need to make yourself stand out, but Olivia's going to help you do that later. So personal statement section, yeah, really important. Your reference is going to be written by your personal tutor. That's because they know your work, they know what you're capable of from an academic point of view, so they're the best person to write it. So they need you to get your form into them by the 15th of December, so they've got time to write the reference and to get it off to UCAS before the 15th of January, which is the date that it needs to be with them. Another important date to remember is the 25th of February, so make a note of that. It's an opportunity for you to add an extra choice of course and university if you find that you haven't been made any offers from the 5 choices that you've made on your form. So this means that that university may make you an offer. If they don't, all isn't lost. There's another important date, and that's the 30th of June next year. On that date, clearing will open, and that's where courses that are unfilled, that have unfilled places on them, are advertised by universities on UCAS, and you're able to look through those, see if there's something that you think you would fancy, and then you have to contact that university individually and ask them if they will accept you onto the course. So there's other opportunities if things don't go quite according to plan with your UCAS application. So still other opportunities, other options. UCAS are offering the opportunity to take part in virtual open days. So it's a great idea, if you haven't already done so, to get onto the UCAS website and book yourself onto some virtual open days at universities that you think you might be interested in. At the moment, because of COVID, all the universities are doing their open days online. You can't actually go to open days physically at the universities, but this is the next best thing. Hopefully, at some point between lockdowns, you may be able to go and visit at least the town or city where your choices are located and have a look round. And if you can't get into the university buildings, you could at least have a walk around the university campuses and get a bit of a feel for what they might be like. So that might be an important thing to do for you to be able to make your choices when it comes to having to choose two out of however many offers you get made by universities. So if you were, for example, to be made offers from 4 out of your 5 choices, you would only be able to accept 2 of those offers. You'd have to reject the others. So you would select a firm offer, which would be one that would be looking for you to pass at your predicted grade, and you'd accept another one that was looking for a lower grade as an insurance in case you don't do as well as you're predicted to or as well as you hope. So there's also something called adjustment, and that is something else that happens later in the year, next year, whereby if you were to get better grades than predicted or expected, then you could trade up and get a place at a university on a course that still has places, but where the entry requirements are higher than the ones that you've applied for. So there are lots and lots of different options available, and a full list of all of these important dates are on the UCAS website. So thanks a lot for listening to this UCAS step-by-step guide. Hope you found it useful. Do put any questions in the chat and we'll try and answer them, or you can save them till later for our question and answer session at the end of the event. So see you later.